This is the Louie T Network. Hey, either you're outside or you're
in the lab room.
Who else could it be but me, your man, Louie T? Welcome. You are in the lab room. Of course, I am your host, Lou. Thank you for joining me. Week number 12 in the National Football League. Thursday night football. Oakland Raiders, the Oakland Raiders, taking on the Kansas City Chiefs. Thursday night football, AFC West, family business, huge matchup. Number of reasons for the Oakland Raiders. This is it, your last home divisional game. This is it. So look, I said three things about this Raiders team going into this game, and what a game it was. And I told you I thought it was going to be a close affair. I told you I thought it was going to be nip and tuck, and I told you I thought the Raiders had a legitimate shot at getting this one at the crib on Thursday night. You got to remember, this is the only time the Raiders are going to be on the national stage. Bright lights, big stage. Everybody is amped for a contest like this, especially when you're the Raiders and you don't get many opportunities like this. You've got to take advantage of it. So everybody wants to showcase their talents and show the world that our 0-10 record says that we're a bad football team, but we're not as bad as you might think. And so I've been trying to tell everybody that. I said three things about this Raiders team. One, this is not an 0-16 team. This is not an 0-16 outfit. This team is better than that. The 2008 Detroit Lions was an 0-16 team. They were bad. This Raiders team is not that. They're going to win a game. I said that. Number two, I said they're going to beat someone in the division. That's generally how it goes. When you're a bad football team and you're looking for a win and it takes you a long time to get one, you normally find a way to beat an opponent that you know. You find a way to beat somebody that you're familiar with. Normally, that's a family member. And see, number three, that led me to my last conclusion. It's going to happen at home. You don't usually go on the road and win in the division if you're a bad football team looking for a win. Normally, it comes in the division at the crib. Well, guess what? The Raiders are playing their last divisional game at home this season. This is it. They've already played San Diego at home. They've already played Denver at home. They don't get another one. So they had to win this game if they were going to win a game within the division. They're not going to Denver and winning. They already played San Diego twice, and they're not going to Arrowhead and winning. So if they're going to win this division at all this season, this was going to have to be the one. So a lot was riding on this game for the Oakland Raiders. And again, as those losses pile up, it becomes harder and harder to get a win. So, hey, you're already at double digits at 0-10. You need to have this one, and you need to have it. The weather was perfect for the conditions of what the Raiders were trying to accomplish. It means a perfect storm for the Raiders. Everything you could ask for. Chiefs don't score a lot of points. They want to rely on the run. Everything that the Raiders needed to have happen happened in this game. And so you look at it from the Chiefs standpoint. Here's a team playing outstanding football, winners of 4 straight, 7-3 on the season, legitimate shot at winning this division. Remember, when this season started, this team looked like an afterthought. They looked like one of the worst teams in this division. I thought that they didn't do enough to secure the offensive line. I definitely was upset and disappointed that they didn't address the wide receiver position in the draft. Look at how many receivers have turned out to be great this year. And the Chiefs made no effort to go and get one. Just one. And it didn't have to be a first rounder. It didn't have to be a second rounder. Could have been in the third round. They just should have gotten a receiver in this draft. There are too many to pick from for the Chiefs not to address a position that was so desperate and destitute. And so I just thought this team didn't do enough to replenish what they had lost last offseason. And they didn't make their team better. And so I just said, no way this team is going to compete. But defense start playing ball. Alex Smith and Jamal Charles do what they normally do, and Travis Kelce steps up, and all of a sudden, things have fallen into place for this Chiefs team. You have a huge win against Seattle last week. You got Denver at home next week. Sandwiched in between, the Oakland Raiders on Thursday Night Football. That's a trap game if I've ever seen one. So you knew that there was a chance So you're telling me there's a chance that the Oakland Raiders could win on Thursday Night Football against the red-hot Kansas City Chiefs? That's what you're telling me. Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. Let's jump into this breakdown and see if the Raiders could get it done on Thursday Night Football. Raiders strike first with a gorgeous 8-play, 72-yard drive. The 4-Carr, 3 of 3 on third downs. This drive ends in an 11-yard Latavius Murray touchdown run. 7-0 Oakland in this game. And it's funny because I've been talking about Latavius Murray for a while now. And I had the pleasure of watching this game with one of my best friends who happens to be a huge Oakland Raiders fan. He was in town for Thanksgiving, and so he was able to come over to the house and watch the game with me. And I don't know a bigger Oakland Raiders fan than this guy right here. I mean, I don't know anybody else that's more in tune with this team than my buddy that was watching the game with me. And I tell you what, he was calling everything like he saw it all night long, and he was hitting them, you know, one after one after one. Everything he was saying was coming to fruition in this game. And he knows this Raiders team inside and out. And he's been calling for Latavius Murray since week 1. And I saw Latavius Murray in the preseason against Minnesota. And I said, I want to see more of this kid. And I couldn't understand why DA, when he was the head coach, wouldn't put him in the game. I said, is it practice? Is it practice habits? I mean, is he in a doghouse? Did he do something? Is there a reason? Because it's not like the play on the field is keeping him off the field. MJD, that cupboard is bare. Run DMC, he's a 3 yards and a cloud of dust back. There's nothing special at the running back position. So there's no reason for him not to be getting some snaps. So I was wondering what's going on. And so my buddy was saying the exact same thing. He's been crying, clamoring for Latavius Murray to get in the game. And last week we finally got a glimpse of him. 4 carries, very impressive showing against San Diego. And I said last week that I thought that was going to lead to more touches this week, and it did a lot sooner. And so you see, that 11-yard touchdown run, Derek McFadden doesn't score that, Maurice Jones-Drew doesn't score that, Marcel Reese doesn't score that. Nobody on that team in the backfield is capable of making that play. He went up the middle, there was nothing there, he bounced it outside and was able to win with his speed to get to the end zone. 7-0 Raiders on top in this game. That's the end of the first quarter. Raiders up 7-0 as we go to the second quarter. Latavius Murray does it again. He did it again. This time from 90 yards out. What a run. Gets in the hole, makes a jump cut, cuts it back, and accelerates past the Chiefs defense. This was a tremendous run, and you saw all of the things that we saw with this kid on one play. And you saw the vision, you saw the cutback ability and agility, and you saw the speed. Eric Berry tried to run him down, had no chance as he put on the burners, never let up off the accelerator, gets in the end zone from 90 yards out. Literally with 3 carries, the man had 112 yards on the ground. He was a monster early for this Raiders team as he's got 2 touchdowns already. Raiders are up 14-0, their biggest lead of the season, and both are the byproduct of Latavius Murray run. So that's what a dominant running back can do for you. And I don't want to call him dominant yet, but he's the most dominant thing the Raiders have seen in the backfield all season long. The first time the 4-Carr has had legitimate help all season long. So it's 14-0. Raiders on top. And you're saying to yourself, could this be the night? And my buddy, before the game started, he said, this is the night. We getting one. This is our night. And I said, man, I like your chances. I said it in the preview. I thought that the Raiders had a legitimate shot at winning this game. I just couldn't go out on a limb and pick them because I had done this before and the Raiders had let me down before. So I wasn't willing to go down that road, but I said it would not shock me in the least because it was the perfect storm for the Raiders to get the job done on Thursday night. So it's 14-0. Then my buddy always says, I just want Denarius Moore off my team. That's his favorite line with these 2014 Raiders. I just want Denarius Moore off my team. And he says Denarius Moore serves no point and no purpose. And you saw pretty much a glimpse as to what he was referring to on the punt. I had said earlier, I didn't like the way he was catching the punts. The first punt, he caught it again. He caught it away from his body. It's already a slick, wet, slippery night. You don't want to have the football away from your body catching a punt. And so you can see this is going to be a problem tonight. And it happened. It happened. Denarius Moore muffs a punt inside the Raiders' 15-yard line. Chiefs recover. And I thought that was the beginning of the end. I said, this is going to be very telling. How does the defense respond to a sudden change of possession? How does the defense respond, having just got off the field, forcing a punt, having to come back on the field and defend a short field? How do they respond? Do they allow the Chiefs to march right into the end zone and cut this lead in half? Or do they force them to kick a field goal? I thought that was going to go a long way in determining whether the Raiders could win this game or not, because that lets me know where their mindset is. Are they going to hang their heads and say, here we go again? Or are they going to strap up the bootstraps and get it done and force them to kick a field goal? They did the latter. They gave up 8 yards on first down. I said, oh yeah, they about to give up a touchdown. And then they sunk their teeth in and they put their feet in the dirt and they would not be moved. And they forced Alex Smith and the Kansas City Chiefs to kick a field goal. It's 14-3. That was a huge defensive stand. And as you can see later on in the game, how the score was reflective of that. This was a huge turn of events in the game. That was a win for the defense. That was a win for the Raiders after the Denarius Moore muffed punt and subsequent turnover. For the Raiders to hold them to a field goal, that was huge. So it's 14-3 now. Raiders still on top. The one thing that I got to say about Latavius Murray, because he's so big and tall, I saw this on one of the first carries he had in the game. He took a shot. I said, this kid is big. I already knew coming out of college that he was a 6'2", running back, 6'3", 220-pound guy. That's tall. And tall running backs have a hard time lowering their pad level, so they take shots. And when they take shots, they look bad. And he takes a shot right before the half on a carry. I mean, right up under the chin, head snaps back, ball comes out. Luckily enough for the Raiders, it's recovered by Oakland, so no harm, no foul there. But it was a vicious shot indeed. Ball's on the carpet, he's down, he leaves the game with a concussion, does not return. So I thought that was a crippling blow at the time, because he had been the Raiders' entire offense to that point. And this was his coming out party. This was his chance to prove that he belongs in this league. He should be the bell cow. He should be getting the bulk of the carries. And it was on a national stage. This was his coming out party. This was an opportunity for him to make a claim and stamp his name as the Raiders' lead guy in the backfield, and he gets injured. He runs high. So that's going to be a distinct possibility each and every single time he carries the football, because he does not lower his pad level enough, and he's a really tall guy. So he leaves the game, and we go to the halftime break. Raiders up 14-3. My buddy is feeling it. He's like, man, this is our game. We are getting this game. So, and at 14-3, you can't deny him right now, but we've seen the Raiders haven't led at the half many times this year. I don't even know if they have led at the half this year, but there hasn't been many times the Raiders have been up at the half, and I can assure you the Raiders have never been up double digits at the halftime break this season. So this was huge. So you come out of the break, Raiders are able to get a field goal, 40-yarder from Seabass to extend the lead out to 17-3. Man, this is feeling like a Raiders victory. But you had to know that they weren't out the woods yet. The rain stops, and all of a sudden the Kansas City Chiefs offense comes to life. Alex Smith, Captain, check down. He starts to heat up, and he goes 5 of 5 on the drive for 68 yards and the touch as he finds Anthony Fasano for 19 yards on play action fake, wide open for a touchdown. And now it's 17-10. Raiders on top, but Chiefs are on the move, their first touchdown of the game. And there was a great shot of Charles Woodson walking away after the touchdown, as he was the last guy back there to try to stop Anthony Fasano from getting in the end zone. Charles is walking away, and he has the look of dejection. He has the look of, oh, here we go again. And so I looked to my left. My buddy was sitting on my left. I looked to my left, and my buddy, he had that same look on his face. Uh-oh. Here we go. And so he got nervous. Down, the Chiefs down 7. He's nervous now. And that was the end of the third quarter. Raiders up 7. And so here we go to the fourth quarter. Raiders looking for their first win of the season. Chiefs put together a 65-yard drive, overcame 2 holding penalties that pushed them back on the drive. Jamal Charles is able to get loose for a 30-yard touchdown catch. Beautiful route. And they showed earlier in the game, Charles Woodson came on a blitz. Uncle Charles was able to dupe Jamal Charles. Never, ever trust a man with 2 first names. Was able to dupe him and get to Alex Smith and get him down for a sack. And so this time, Uncle Charles thought the same thing was happening again, that Jamal Charles was in blocking as a protector, and he actually runs a route, and Uncle Charles slips because he's anticipating him staying in the block, and Jamal Charles gets loose. He makes a guy miss. He gets a block, makes 2 more guys miss, gets in the end zone. It's now 17-all in this game. Never, ever trust a man with 2 first names. It's now 17-all in this game. And I look to my left again, and now my buddy is sweating bullets. And he's quiet, and he has that look of, oh, we just lost the game. So, all the confidence that he had at the beginning of the game, he had at halftime, and even at the end of the third quarter, even though the lead had been cut in half, is gone. All that confidence is done. He's not saying a word. So now, after a solid punt return by Frankie Hammond, the Chiefs get a field goal, and I thought that was a huge turn of events for the Oakland Raiders again. The second time that the Chiefs have been close enough to strike with a touchdown, but have to settle for a field goal. And I thought this was a pivotal moment in the game, because if the Chiefs get a touchdown here and the Raiders are forced to score a touchdown to tie it up, I think that the Raiders approach things differently, and I think they lose this game. I don't think they are able to tie it up and win. Or, win later on in the game. I think this game plays out totally different, because your mindset changes when you need a field goal versus a touchdown, and the Raiders only needed a field goal because of this stop. So now they're thinking, okay, we just need a field goal. We don't need to panic. If you need a touchdown, it's mass hysteria. Okay, this Raiders team does not score 24 points that often. So it was refreshing to know we just got this stop. We're only down a field goal. All we need is a field goal to tie this thing up. We get a touchdown, we win. So Raiders put together a masterful drive, and I did not know they had them in this. I asked my buddy. He didn't think they had this in them. He said, there's no way that we're going down and we're scoring a touchdown. We might tie this game up. He said, but I don't want to tie this game up. I want to win this game in regulation. I don't trust us going to overtime. So the Raiders put together, and I thought the key in this drive was they put Marcel Reese in, because they had tried to put Maurice Jones-Drew in. That was a failed experiment. He was losing yards. He's a shell of himself. He's done. He's no longer a credible back in this league. He can go ahead and hang his cleats up right now. And so Marcel Reese being inserted into the lineup on this possession was huge, because Marcel Reese was absolutely charging to the line and getting every single yard that was there, and then some. I mean, there were some plays where it was blocked for 3, and Marcel Reese would come out the other side of the hole and pick up 7, and you're like, wow. This was a huge drive for the Raiders. I mean, this was a season-defining drive. If you're going to win, you're going to have to do something like this. And this 7-minute, 21-second drive that ends in a 9-yard James Jones touchdown featured the 4 Carr converting on 5 third downs, including a 4th down. He had 2 quarterback sneaks on this possession, one on 3rd down, one on 4th down. And finally, the Raiders decide to spread the Chiefs out. Beautiful route by James Jones as he runs a out back inside route. Beautiful route. And really lost Ron Parker on that play. Gets wide open in the back of the end zone. 4 Carr finds him for his first comeback drive of his career. If they win this game, they can hold on. After the touchdown, they're up 24-20. They can hold on. After that drive, that will be his first game-winning drive of his career. So 4 Carr got a lot invested, not only for the win, not only for the team, but for himself as well. So now the Raiders are just looking to hang on. Can the Raiders keep the Chiefs? And again, this is a Chiefs team that doesn't score a lot of points. So I was pretty confident that the Raiders were going to hold on to this game. Had the Chiefs just needed a field goal, again, changes everything. But because the Raiders scored a touchdown and the Chiefs had to score a touchdown to win, and they couldn't kick a field goal, I said, the Raiders, I think you're in good shape. The Chiefs, this isn't their strong suit. They're not a drive the football down the field team. They're a team that has to nickel and dime their way down the field. And in situations like this, they don't thrive in situations like this. With no timeouts, it's going to be tough. And so, Chiefs drive it to midfield, but Alex Smith is sacked on third down. And it's funny, remember I talked about you can take the player out of Oakland, but you can't take the Oakland out of the player. Remember when Lamar Houston tore his ACL celebrating a sack down 30 against New England, and he didn't even sack Tom Brady, he sacked Jimmy Garoppolo. Remember he tore his ACL celebrating a sack down 30 some odd points in the third quarter? Yeah, that's some Oakland Raiders stuff. And this was another Oakland Raiders moment right here as C.O. Moore and Khalil Mack combined on the sack. And mind you, Chiefs don't have any timeouts, and this is a key play. So that sack was huge. C.O. Moore runs 20 yards beyond the line of scrimmage to celebrate. Khalil Mack follows him. So does Myoba. All of those guys run literally 20 yards. Myoba realizes, I need to get back. But Khalil Mack and C.O. Moore are doing their little handshake, doing all of this. Khalil Mack's back is turned to the line of scrimmage. And you've got guys yelling to them, get back, get back. And the Chiefs are about to snap the football, and Justin Tuck alertly, as a veteran, calls a timeout to stop the Chiefs from getting a free 5 yards, because even though Khalil Mack and C.O. Moore sacked Alex Smith, it was only a 6-yard loss, so it's 4th and 13. That's still manageable. You give them a free 5 yards. All of a sudden now, 4th and 13 turns to 4th and 8. The Chiefs can pick that up. So 13 yards, that's tough for the Chiefs. 8 yards, that's very doable for the Chiefs. So that was a huge timeout. You can't do. I've never, in all my years of watching football, I've never seen anybody do that before. But again, that's what happens when you're the Oakland Raiders. And you know how they tell you, act like you've been there before. Act like you've done it before. You know how they tell you that? What happens when you haven't done it before? What happens when you're 0-10 and you haven't been here before? That's what happens. The Oakland Raiders show you what happens when you haven't been there before. When you're 0-10 and you're winless and you can smell, you can taste the victory, you're one more stop away from winning the game, that's what happens. That was so comical. That was hilarious. But when it was all said and done, Raiders got the timeout, stopped the clock, were able to kind of settle in. Justin Tuck gave those guys an earful. You can see C.O. Moore just saying, my fault, my bad. That was me. I'm sorry. My fault. I can't do that. I'm sorry. So he knew what, and look, it's one thing if it's Khalil Mack. He's a rookie. You expect him to make rookie mistakes. I don't expect him to do that, but he's a rookie. C.O. Moore's been in the league. He understands the situation, the magnitude of the situation. He should know better. I'm disappointed in C.O. Moore. So to get back to 4th down, though, the Chiefs come on the field. They try to complete a pass. And see, this is why Kansas City doesn't have a receiving touchdown right now, because they don't have that guy. And even though Dwayne Bowe can be that guy, first of all, why are you throwing the football to Frankie Hammond Jr. on 4th down? You don't throw him. You've got Travis Kelce you can throw the football to. You've got Dwayne Bowe you can throw the football to. Hell, I would even take my chances with Black Mamba before I throw the football to Frankie Hammond Jr. What the hell are you doing? He's already dropped one on this possession. An easy crosser, he dropped it. Why? The route he ran was faulty. Alex Smith threw the ball to the sidelines. He's running towards the middle of the field. He never comes back to the football. Why are you throwing the football to this guy? And that's what happens when you don't have any receivers. This is why I don't feel bad for the Kansas City Chiefs not having any receiving touchdowns on the season. When you get in situations like this, you don't have any dogs that can go and get the football. You don't have any dogs that can go and hunt and get you one. And this is why the Chiefs, when it's all said and done, could potentially miss the postseason because of losses like this, because of not having a guy to make a play. And you saw it rear its ugly head at the most inopportune time in this ball game as the Raiders hold on for dear life, 24-20, and one of the craziest finishes you will see all season long. It can't be any more Raiders-like than that. But when it's all said and done, Raiders are on. You can put them on the board. Yeah, the Raiders have gotten their first win of the season, 24-20. They're off the schneid as they're now 1-10 on the season. This is a devastating loss to the Kansas City Chiefs because they had a chance to not only take sole possession of first place, even if it's only for a couple of days. They had a chance to go to 8-3 on the season, be in first place, set up a huge matchup next week with Denver because Denver has a chance to now take the lead, sole possession of first place with a win over Miami at home. And now, even if Denver were to lose next week, they're still tied for first place with this Chiefs team. And if they win next week, not only will they have the season sweep and a full game lead added to their total, which will be extended out to 2 full games, add in the extra game that they will have because of the tiebreaker, and you basically have lost this division in 2 weeks. So Chiefs really dug themselves a hole with this loss because now if Denver wins, goes to 8-3, beats them next week in Arrowhead, goes to 9-3, and Kansas City falls to 7-5, then you add in the tiebreaker, they got a 3-game lead over you in the division. You're not coming back down 3 games with 4 remaining. It's done. So then you got to concentrate on the wild card, and then you throw yourself into the mix with all of these other teams, and the wild card is crazy in the AFC this year. So you have not done yourself any favors losing this game to the Oakland Raiders. That is for certain. Now you need some help. Now you need a team like Miami to bail you out. You need a team like St. Louis to maybe beat San Diego. You need some help now because you still control your own destiny, but you just left it to chance, and you never want to leave anything to chance in the National Football League. So that's going to do it for Raiders Chiefs Thursday Night Football. What a game. Raiders get their first win of the season. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room. I thank you for joining me. Come back, so I've got plenty more to break down in week number 12. The National Football League. See you in a bit.